All right, so I specifically have not made notes for this. When I do that, it doesn't necessarily. I mean, the way I make notes doesn't necessarily improve the communication. So, I just, I, you know, Pelosi's attitude, and I've been reading when election time comes. I'll go read a Daily Kos, a site I used to be on regular. Um, and they've kind of purged anybody. It used to be like a progressive website, but it became, explicitly pro-Democrat. And there's a lot of manufacture of consent there. And there's a lot of people that are like, don't be disrespectful to Nancy Pelosi. She's, she's a badass, one person said. And, it's this whole she's playing 12-dimensional chess kind of thing. And this is where my attitude is that I am a voter. Um, I've worked on campaigns. I'm not pretending that I'm above working on helping a particular person or position or, project or issue win. I'll put in my time and help out. I'll try to make it, I'll try to convince other people or whatever. It's not really what I'm good at. I like to tell other people how I came to my conclusion and trust them to figure things out. Make sure people have information. Have some instincts like that. Basically, when I think about politics, I think about, voting. I don't try to have a position that's halfway between myself, my natural position, and someone else's because then maybe they'll come to that mid. No, I like keep my position and I offer people, well, I'll vote for this if you vote for that, or whatever it is that the compromise would be. But I believe in this individualistic thing, and if I ever was a politician, I think it's different. Then you're supposed to represent people. You're supposed to say, well, I feel this, but I know the people in my district or whatever believe something else, and I have to represent them. Um, I mean, that's how I believe it should work. I believe if you know the viewpoint of the people you represent, then you should consider yourself duty bound to further that, or at the very most, do nothing on it. You certainly shouldn't subvert what they want, at least not without having a dialogue and convincing them first. You can lead, but not autocratically, in my view. But I'm not a politician. I don't have office. I'm not running for office. I'm not trying to convince some sort of a faction to my view. So I'm not trying to convince other people that Trump should be impeached. I'm saying I think he should be impeached. And at this point, it's kind of like it's at the point where if the Democrats don't impeach, I'm considering not voting for them or not voting. Um, I I will probably still vote for them because I'm used to never getting my way. It's not like there's been a president elected that I was wholeheartedly for. Even Obama, I expected more than we got, but, not significantly more. Basically, you do vote for the one that's going to do least damage or be the most like your own positions, or however you want to put it. And that's fine. And it's because of the whole process. Ideally, it would be more because of what other people wanted than because of, party string pullers, but whatever. It is what it is. And, you vote for the person that's least bad, or most, whatever your calculation is. And then you're supposed to oppose them, but or at least give them flack or try to push them in the direction you want when they're in office. So, to me, obviously, it's easier to push some progressive things with Democrats and Republicans. Um, or that's the theory, at least. But here's the thing, I believe in a law and order democracy where the Constitution is followed. If one generation of people wanted to have a criminal for president for whatever reason, so they could have a wall or whatever, um, that's not a good reason to give up and let the democracy go. It'll affect a lot more people than just one generation. Um, I would feel the same about a Democrat, or I don't want to just wait and vote for the next dictator. Can't have a president that doesn't respect the oversight power of Congress. That's in the Constitution. Emoluments, getting paid, paying, having the federal government pay yourself to stay at your hotels, other foreign governments. That's in the Constitution. Even if you don't like it or think it needs to be updated, it's in the Constitution. These things need to be prosecuted. You can't. Pelosi is making, I hate to even say it, because it's like, uh, it, it's like, I don't know, an abusive family secret or something, but it's not really. I mean, I don't hate to say it at all. I'm making a video to say it. But Pelosi is like, it's the feeling. I'm talking about the feeling of it. Um, her reticence, I mean, Pelosi is making it a political decision, right? Like, it's political to not impeach him because already, and it's like, oh, but you got to let the investigations take their time. There was Mueller. He has a bunch of things that are impeachable. I personally feel the number one thing is the emoluments. And I feel that maybe the zero thing before that now is obstructing justice to the point where you're saying out loud, well, we're just not going to cooperate. I'm not going to even do laws or nothing. I'm not going to cooperate. That's not acceptable. That's not what the Constitution says our government is. You think it should be that way? You're going to have a constitutional convention or something. Otherwise, you're having some sort of a coup or civil war attempt. And if Pelosi's going to go along with that, look, it doesn't matter if you lose this battle. If you lose this battle politically because you impeach him because of self dealing, the $100 million for golf has actually also gone to him, paying himself, stayed his own places. The Constitution doesn't allow that. The Constitution doesn't allow a lot of these things, and it's high crimes and misdemeanors. So it could just be a misdemeanor. So ignoring this stuff, you're saying, oh, it's fine, which, they might be thinking, yeah, when we get a Democrat back, think of what we can do. Well, I don't want to vote for the next dictator. These guys that I've had to see in my life and through history, um, you can deal with them. There's a wide variety of views. Some people support slavery in this country. Okay, I guess that's the world I'm born into. Dealing with that is different from dealing with a total abrogation of the responsibilities that you have when you are the only authority. The I believe a president can obviously be indicted. This is a bullshit opinion from the executive branch, but it is the executive branch. Other kinds and parts of government could do whatever they want. The executive branch, not that surprising if it says, you know what, there's really no way for us to indict the president. And if you take that at face value as being a true case thing, then it makes sense only with there's somebody else. There's another sheriff in town, and the sheriff is supposed to prosecute crimes they know happened. And if the person gets acquitted, I guess that's the way that it goes. You don't, obviously, if you don't even try them, they won't even have been acquitted. It'll be even less of a thing. I believe, but also they're saying, even Pelosi's saying, he's doing obstruction of justice and things like this, which are impeachable. So what are you waiting for? The 13th or 14th things? And the other thing is, Americans and leadership in general, but certainly Americans, if you're leading some idea, they want to see you all in before it's popular, right? And then when it becomes popular, you're vindicated and you get lionized. It doesn't even matter what you believe in. Americans love when that happens. And maybe all people, I don't know, but certainly Americans. If you wait until, if like you work to make it popular and then it gets popular, and then you're like, yep, I am in. Americans hate that. I, as an American, hate that. And it's almost like, well, that's what the Democrats are going for. And they only want to play games that they can for sure win. Well, my responsibility is not voting for Democrats or supporting Democrats, or when a Democrat does one thing wrong, but I like some three other things of them, I'm supposed to ignore it. No, I'm a voter. I'm supposed to have opinions about every issue, every single issue. I can make an overall assessment, however, I feel like I don't have any. Just because I'm voting for you because you're better than Republicans doesn't mean I have some sort of an obligation to you in any way whatsoever. Not even for that vote. You're just getting that vote because I'm making a calculation. And you make a calculation too and realize someone like myself will make that. Yeah, but there's hundreds of thousands or millions of other people that have similar sympathies that'll just be like, fuck it, I'm not going to vote for you guys. You don't impeach or whatever the issue might be if you fuck over my candidate or whatever. So my responsibilities are to pay my mortgage and, feed myself and my family or work with my family to make that the household exist and get funded. And those are my responsibilities. Um, to get health care, maybe there's some political party was supposed to help make that more of a secure thing, but Jesus, some sort of a pollen or thing just came through. It's really harsh. Um, all of a sudden, maybe it's just the impeachment talk. But it's not my responsibility to support that party. And whether it really affects the things that are my responsibility, I mean, I don't know. It could, but they don't much, really. Um, how I'm doing is, it's roughly related to the general, status of the economy. But not always very directly, but roughly it has been. Um, but relating that directly to one or the other of these parties, things like that, I mean, I don't even know if I nickled and dime which things were helping me financially. I just think it's mostly all noise, right? Like my responsibilities, even the healthcare, like having the health, it went up under Obama. It was going up ahead before. It went up under Obamacare. I want them to. I support Obamacare in that it's a step in the right direction. Let's get control of the price and make it stable and stuff. But that hasn't actually happened. Often the tax reductions, I don't really notice a change that's noticeable. Um, Maybe this one because I have my own business, and evidently my accountant said I could do some things and do a lot better next year. So that might be based on that. I don't even know. So basically, my political desires of how I want society to work are separate from what my real responsibilities are to my family, to myself, to take care of myself so other people don't have to, and things like that. Um, so it's really wrong of Democrats to assume my goals are directly linked to their fate if they just ignore the things that I want. And the Democrats saying we don't want to impeach because it might hurt us politically is like, yeah, I hate to tell you guys, I don't really care about your fate politically. If you won't do things like this, you're no good for me politically. I don't get any fucking extra contracts because you get elected. I get nothing from you being elected other than you doing things like make sure the Constitution doesn't go down without a fight. Who else is supposed to do the fight? I mean, so whatever, really. I don't know. I probably won't do anything this drastic, but I feel like if they don't, there's nothing else for them to do, right? Like they could do something else just as big of a deal, but there is nothing else. The big deal thing is there's only one body that can hold Trump to account. It's them. They're not even going to try, but they're going to say, yeah, he should be held to account. I like Pelosi. I hope his family does it. Yeah, his family should have an intervention. Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, Al Capone's family also should have had an intervention. Maybe that would solve it. Yeah, who needs law and order? And I disagree with the DOJ. I understand why Mueller would use that. I also would understand if he did a Ken Starr and, said, I have a different interpretation. But whatever, he's not bound to do that. They come up with all of these, the facts of the investigation. Says you're the only body that can prosecute it with an impeachment. And what are you waiting for? Just waiting at all makes it seem like what we've seen so far is fine. Pelosi's such an idiot. Oh, and I'm sure she'll get lots of credit from Republicans for being so judicious. She really didn't want to do this. I appreciate that. I mean, what is she trying to get? Brownie points with Republicans for not rushing into it? Because I hate to tell her, but she's probably the only one they hate as much as Hillary Clinton. So, what a bunch of delusion in this Democratic Party. But I'm an independent. It's just complicated when you have such crazy Republicans during my whole life, just getting from Reagan to more. It was bad enough and more crazy just every time. It just, I don't know who. Krusty the Clown is like the next Republican president. Um, I don't know what to do about this. So, there's some comments, but fuck it. All right. Cheers.